Yo, what up? I'm Alexander Blino, A Blino AB positive. This is the ALX Files with AB. Yeah, that's me, A Blino, whatever. I forget what the fuck I say on this shit. And that's good because that means all the shit is off the top of the dome, completely improvised, never rehearsed. All my raps are completely freestyle. That's actually true because freestyle nowadays doesn't mean off of the top of the dome. You know, oh, sway 107.9 freestyle. It could be my written rhyme over here. AB positive logical life entity, a summer level like no other brother this is meant to be. Anyway, but what do they say? These rappers say to Harry Mack, what you do, we call that off the top, off the dome, blah blah blah. And that's coming up with this fungi flows. See you, man. But Harry Mack especially, wow, what a legend. That guy is a drummer and rapper, and if you haven't heard of him, check out Harry Mack, man. What's wrong with you? What are you doing? Anyway, my name's Abe Leno, AB positive. This is really just like a therapy session, and I know I post a lot of negative stuff on my alternative channel, but we got my co-host Peachy over here, and the divine spark of immortality, reestablishment, boom. And you know what I want to say is that I'm getting a new job, right? And I never really talked about my situation on here. I've told a million people a million times my situation with my health, and not my mental health, my physical health. All right, guys. Come on, Peachy. Come on, get out of my shot. But anyway, I had this thing called Whipple's disease. And on top of that, I lost my job. Poor me! Pity party time! No, I lost my job as a line cook at Slap Shots, Massachusetts. Slap Shots in Raynham, Massachusetts, which is now closed forever because of Biden. Blame Biden. That's what Jeff Sinky Sucks put on the sign afterwards. He wrote, "Closing August 15th. Blame Biden." Trying to keep these cats at bay. What the heck? Anyway, so I ended up losing my health. I worked as a line cook my whole life, right? So I worked at Holiday Inn. Before that, I even had other jobs, State Line, Mike's Pizza, but we'll leave those out. Well, I guess I didn't, but Holiday Inn, I was a line cook, banquet cook. Then I went to Home Plate, and I was at both those jobs for a long time, 8 years and 5 years. I met my ex, the one girlfriend I had, you know, who's still my friend. Hi, Marlene. But you know, I met her at Home Plate, and then we lived together. We worked together 5 years of working there. Whatever relationship. I left. I went to Backstreet Grill. I went to Bar Louie. I went to Back Nine actually, then Bar Louie, and then after that I went to Slap Shots because it was actually I was anemic, and I was anemic actually since I was with my ex in like 2019. I had this random low hemoglobin, low hematocrit. You know, I just thought, hey, run low. I told a couple people I worked at Home Plate, yeah, you know, I always feel tired, whatever. And even when I went back, you know, skip around the story, they're like, oh yeah, you said you always felt tired. Because I don't feel tired now. Well, you know, within reason, everyone feels tired a little bit, right? But, you know, long story short, I had this thing called Whipple's disease, not the procedure, Whipple's disease, and it's a bacteria that prevents the uptake of nutrition. So, in 2023, I ended up having a lot of diarrhea and going to the bathroom and just wasting away, being real scared, a lot of cramps. You know, my blood work, which was already low, got really bad, and I, you know, went to the doctor. They said, oh, you didn't come back for the bone marrow biopsy or the blood work, and I said to the hematologist, just please, I want to get checked out. It was actually my gastro that figured it out with, and I've had like 4 colonoscopies, endoscopies, but I had a cystoscopy with my gastro, you know, took a biopsy. 2 weeks later, they called me, you could go to the hospital, Whipple's, and I'm lucky to be here because I feel like I was on my deathbed, and, you know, it was just slowly killing me. It's a barrier of nutrition, Trophalia Whipple, barrier of nutrition, and thanks to anyone in the Whipple family because, you know, that guy identified it in 1996, and thanks to anyone who doesn't have the name Whipple that worked on figuring out that you just needed antibiotics because I did play pickleball with a lady and she said this guy she knew, her neighbor, had it in the 80s and he died because it was first treated in 1996. So I am a Whipple survivor, not trying to make my stories overly important, but it does have some importance. And I do feel like that's when I was able to get back into the music. I did play, there's footage of me doing open mics in like 2022 and stuff, and remember my hands were just like cramping, like, I was tired all the time. And now I've been trying to get into physical stuff. I do the foot bag again, and I played soccer in a league. I've done stuff, so I feel like I'm in decent shape. And also that ties into, so I lost my job at Slapshots when I was in the hospital, and it was like, hey, I'm just lucky to be alive, but then being a kitchen worker, dropout druggy dumbass, as I like to call myself, in fun. But someone, not complete. I'm not a self-hater. I'm embracing the path that I've taken, because I am a musician and artist, and the system is built on indoctrination, whatever. But maybe I have some ADD because I'm throwing a sock over here. But I feel like one thing that kind of fucked me was getting this disease. There's no real pity or sympathy for, like, I lost my job. Or maybe I could have gone into interviews with a different attitude. But at one point I got scared into like just needing work and wanting to keep my apartment. So I signed on for a job like $18 an hour, 20 hours a week, and then ended up losing that job because I flipped out, probably because of my own feelings. I felt bad for myself for a while. Oh man, I lost my job in the hospital, blah, blah, they can't do that. And I talked to a lawyer. He didn't want to take my case pro bono, but maybe I could have had a case. But it's not even about that. I feel like I just would have wanted an apology. So Jeff, if you're watching this, I forgive you. But at that time, what I'm talking about. I was angry. So, I'd pull up the Slapshots with my music blasting. The kid, Ryan, come outside. Hey, is everything cool? They probably thought the worst possible scenario of what I could do. But I was like, nah, Jeff's just an asshole. Fired me in the hospital. Heartless bastard, but I'm just angry, He's like, okay, just about to lock the door, so seeing if everything was all right. Yeah, no beef with you, Ryan. You're a good man. But Josh, fuck Josh. And I know you're cool with Josh, but yeah, fuck Josh, because he really is an addict with no heart. Well, I don't want to say he has no heart. He had no ability to feel for someone who's dying because he's too busy doing whatever he does. And he was a shitty ass chef too, Josh. You suck as a chef. You shouldn't even be a cook. You should go to rehab. All right, that's what you should do. But anyway, I'm sorry to be a heartless bastard. Yeah, I'm a heartless bastard right here. But anyway, the world is kind of cold. It's a cold world. You can see it in the streets. I just put a new version of Change Our Ways, and I'm going to upload a little short clip of the studio that I recorded at my mother's house. And the floor is like cement right now. We don't even have carpet down there, but thank God, because it's mold in there. And we're going to get that done. So it's coming soon, Abe Linnell's professional studio with GarageBand. Now it's going to be acoustic recordings. Maybe I can put some drums in eventually, but like, I want it to be kind of natural, tribal. Maybe I'll get into djembe or something. We just need to, like, no loops, none of that. We're going to do the whole thing like the right way. The way that music's been made forever. So I'm gonna go hopefully to this new job today, talk to Aaron, the sous chef, and I kind of think it's funny. It's God's plan, the way it worked out. And as much as I don't want to have to work the line, I like working the line. So if it's not overwhelming, it's not going to be bad. I like working the line within reason. I don't like getting fucked at home plate when someone's walking out, another kid's walking out, and you gotta do 5 stations. That's not fun. But it's fun to actually cook for people and care. And sometimes I don't want to talk smack about where I'm at now, but maybe we don't care as much as we should. And I try to care, but what can I do? Fire apps to order, that's about it. Why are you doing that? You don't need to do that. Why are you doing that? You don't need to do that. Why are you doing that? You don't need to do that. Why are you doing that? You don't do that. Why are you doing that? You don't need to do that. What was I thinking the other day? Something about lit. This Schaefer's lit, bitch. Or something. I had something about being lit, and I'm trying to make a little song and everything. Let my creativity flow. And lately, I have been trying to write some new ones, but my mission is to record the Universal Receiver album on GarageBand in this version. The Change Our Ways I just put up. The vocals a little loud, the guitar's a little low, but it's decent quality. Maybe I'm being too close, too loud of the thing, but we're gonna tinker with it, and we're gonna come up with better versions, or maybe even that one we can fine tune with that version, because it did come out good. I feel like I was in the zone. And we're gonna come out with more versions like that and put them all together on an album, and we're gonna get a 10, 11 song album called Universal Receiver, and we're gonna release it through my own record label called either Positive Productions, AB Positive Productions, or I'm thinking Semi-Psycho Records. Semi-Psycho Records is psychopathic, semi-psycho, right? Something like that. Slightly Psycho Records, slightly stupid. I don't know. Slightly, yeah, Psycho Records. That sounds good. But something like that. And I'm gonna release the album and sell it on the internet for $5. The MP3s, the package, the album with some artwork. I'm gonna either do the artwork or maybe have Fred or someone do artwork. He'd probably be down, but you know, I gotta pay people. But it becomes now the message, because it's about, people say, why don't you go on American Idol? Why don't you go on Spotify? Why don't you go on this? Well, what does that do for artists, you know? Why don't you go on the side of the road and sell your paintings? You know why? Because that money goes into your pocket. Person, pocket. Boom. Painting, person, pocket. Get it? PPP, the 3 Ps. Oh, 6 Ps of life. Piss poor performance. Prior preparation prevents piss poor performance. Prior preparation prevents piss poor performance. Prior preparation prevents piss poor performance. The 6 Ps. And you know who taught me that? It was goddamn, was it JB from Backstreet Grill. Hope you're doing all right, man. You're a good chef. CIA trained. I feel like he was in like the other CIA too, because that guy had a gun. Yeah, like he's from Maine, Canada, wherever he's from. He was a different breed, that guy. Don't mess with that guy. But anyway, we're gonna play you out, because I have 2 phones. Holy crap, I can do this stuff. I'll play out with a little bit of that Change Your Ways version that we did yesterday. So here we go. Quick little sample. Ready? Reality check. We're all gonna die eventually, so we should do something for the next century. Love and unity is how it's meant to be. It's time we all try to seek a new destiny and change our ways before it's too late. You can feel it in the air, everybody's about to break. Today is the start of the new day. The new age is upon us, ash to ash and dust to dust. Okay, I'm ready to break on through. So out with the old and in with the new. Today is another beginning for a few. It's gonna start with me and you. Every day I witness something that makes me think. What does everybody love? What does everybody drink? It brings tears to my eyes. Some things I see. War, rape, and murder all over TV. In the streets,
That was crazy.
chasing drugs and criminals. But the main influence is hidden and subliminal. Lies all over the place. People love to call me crazy, but I'm just awake. Ha ha, like they say, the American dream. You gotta sleep to believe, gotta read between the lines to see. There's a complex, a real big picture. They steal through taxes, the rich get richer, but that's how it goes. And you already know, so let's go to work and we'll make the cash flow. Paper money representing chat shit. I wonder what would
good
happen
Arab is a live Arab.
You could feel it.
Living Arabs, night of the living Arabs.
Today is the start of the new day. The
New age is upon us, ash to ash and dust to dust.
Okay, I'm ready to break on through. So out with the old and in with the new. Today is another beginning for a few. It's gonna start with me and you. Yeah. It's gonna start with me and you. Yeah. It's gonna start with me and you. So let's change our ways and let's make some better days. Learn from watching the children play. It's easy, we could be free from the stress. Search for salvation and nothing less. This test of life goes on for a long time, and you wanna get yours and I wanna get mine. So why can't we just work together? And maybe in the end the results will be better if we change our ways. Maybe in the end the results will be better if we change our ways. Yeah.